You cannot destroy borders at your own imperialistic whims. The reality is that we are fighting this battle. We are showcasing to the bullies and despots all around the world that you cannot make your fantasy into reality at the cost of human lives. Russia has been pummeling Ukraine with missiles and drones and various other munitions, not just in this New Year's Eve, but for many, many months now. And the reality is that they are aiming at civil infrastructure, cutting off our electricity supply, heat supply, water supply all around the country. And this is just something that we have to learn to deal with, because again, we are suffering from a full-blown invasion unseen since the Second World War, and this is something my generation has to struggle with.
And it sounds as though these New Year attacks in particular provoked quite an angry response from citizens in places like Kyiv and Kharkiv and so on.
Yes, I mean, this is underlining the reality that Russia is causing horror and terror even in this time, which is universally seen as the moment to actually take a respite from the battle and to think about the New Year's and its potentials. But the Russians aren't seeing it that way. Russians are just causing terror again, and we can expect anything from them. And obviously, as far as the citizenry of Ukraine, we are not taking this lying down.
No, and let's just have a reminder of what President Zelensky said in his New Year message.
I wish one thing to all of us now, the victory. And this is the main thing, one wish for all Ukrainians. Let this year be the year of return, the return of our people, warriors to their families, captives to their homes, IPDs to their Ukraine, return of our lands, and the temporarily occupied ones will become free forever.
Well, President Zelensky, with a really typical rallying cry from your leader there. What do you think lies in store for Ukraine in the coming weeks and months, Sviatoslav?
Russians have not stopped the attempts to break the front line in the east. They are destroying the city of Bakhmut. That's a city which essentially saw the very worst of everything you learned from the trenches of the First World War. This is a place which has been essentially demonstrative of the horrors that Russia plans to bring on the entirety of Ukraine. I myself, through the summer, as a mobilized soldier, have fought there, and the reality is that this will continue because Russians want to basically recoup from their losses throughout this year in our capital, in Kiev, in the north of the country, in the east of the country, and south of the country. They want to have at least some victory to show to their people, and they're trying everywhere they can.
Yeah, we've heard President Putin in his New Year's message saying that he would continue to push for victory. Do you think that there could be a new offensive in the spring?
Certainly, Russia is making moves for that. It is mobilizing. It is trying to showcase its rocket supply as endless to the world, and as far as our ability to expect these attacks, we're expecting anything because Russia has been shown to be capable of everything. So, as far as the new offensive, Russia certainly is trying to make us plan for that, and we will respond to whatever Russia throws our way.
We heard Jens Stoltenberg, the head of NATO, saying that he believes that the West needs to be prepared to continue to stand by Ukraine to provide the weapons, the ammunition for the long haul. Are you worried about war fatigue, about citizens, political leaders across the West failing because of the cost of all of this to continue to provide the support, which of course is making such a difference in Ukraine?
Well, I can tell you who's not fatigued. It is our nation. We are again fighting for the reality that our nation can continue building its future. And for that purpose, no fatigue is imaginable. As far as different leaders around the world, there are sounds from various different political corners in different directions, but I'm very glad to see the broad consensus continue from the leaders all around the world who are showcasing and providing various means for us to sustain this battle, not just for Ukraine's sake, but for the sake of international world order, in which we believe that you cannot just go and take over countries, you cannot destroy borders at your own imperialistic whims. The reality is that we are fighting this battle. We are showcasing to the bullies and despots all around the world that you cannot make your fantasy into reality at the cost of human lives. And we are thankful to the world for keeping with us in this fight, and we hope this continues.